Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA 424. I am Brendan. All right, UFC Fight Night Paris. Moicano taking on Denis. This fight was a banger while it lasted, and the card wasn't bad, fun to watch. I do recommend it if you skipped it. Hey, it was an early night. You could catch it tonight if you want. You could watch it tomorrow, whatever. If you like this kind of thing, talking about fights, we're going to break down all the fights, go over them round by round. If you like that, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. I'd appreciate it. So let's start talking about the fight, shall we? Man, Moicano, just fire on the mic, fire in the first round. Second round, oddly enough, Denis actually did some work. So let's get into it. I got to put some time on this before I start quoting Moicano because otherwise the YouTubes will, I don't know, ban me or the algorithm won't put, I don't know. You start saying the stuff that he's saying, it ain't going to go over too well. All right. Denis going with the low kicks early. Moicano actually catches one of the kicks, uses it to climb up and get the body lock takedown. This is where most of the round took place. 4 minutes and 53 seconds of control time from Moicano. He lets him stand, like he gives him space to stand up, and then he uses that to throw in the body lock, in the body triangle, excuse me, he takes the back. Denis turns inside the body triangle, then ends up mounted, taking a ton of damage, and Moicano busts him open with ground and pound. Denis staying alive and even gets back to his butterflies, but then when he goes to get up and separate, the exact same sequence happened again. It's unfortunate that happened that way for him, doing all that work. He would have been safer to even stay with those butterfly hooks and then just extend and maybe survive the round. I think he would have taken less damage overall. Maybe the fight goes on past that, but the damage was already done. So who knows? You know, this is hindsight 2020. We could say whatever we want, but this is a crazy round. It's a 10-8 round. If a judge doesn't give this round a 10-8, it is horrible. Regardless of the rest of the card, it's a bad scorecard if they don't give it a 10-8. So clearly Moicano's up. Second round, great left hand up top and then to the body from Denis. He's actually doing a good job keeping his base really low, wanting to avoid that takedown. He doesn't want to end up where he did in that first round. Moicano's right shoulder looks a little screwed up. Like it's the collarbone is popped up way too high. It looks almost like he either broke it or dislocated it. I don't know if it was like that when the fight started, but it definitely looks like something happened there. Maybe sometime in the past that does happen where if someone breaks their collarbone or dislocates their shoulder real bad or breaks something in their shoulder, this actually can look elevated and be out of place for the rest of their life. It just looked odd, and I noticed it in this round. Moicano's using the jab and doing most of his damage with that jab in this round. But that being said, Denis was landing really well to that body. He was going up top and countering well. Denis' eyes are really bad, and his right eye is cut up and swollen. The left eye is swollen up. Denis might have won this round. I actually had him winning this round 10-9, so I had it 19-18 going into the third. The problem is the doctor steps in. The striking numbers were 21-15 in favor of Denis, so who knows what happens if this fight goes the distance, right? This 5 round, does Moicano gas out? Does Denis get finished? Like, we don't know. It's all what ifs, but the doctor gives Denis all the chances in the world to answer questions, and there's just nothing you can do when he covers up one eye and he holds fingers in front of your other eye and you can't answer. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't lie. I mean, he was separated from his coaches, so they couldn't give him advice. They couldn't tap him to kind of tell him what's going on. Listen, none of us wanted that fight to stop that way. All right, none of us wanted it to stop that way, but it's the nature of the game. Sometimes this happens, and this was all because of what Moicano did in that first round. And yes, those jabs to that lead eye in the second round exacerbated the issue. But all of this was done by Moicano. None of this was some random thing. This wasn't happenstance. This wasn't a freak accident. This was all done by Moicano. So great fight from him. He looked awesome. I mean, even though he did lose that second round, I think he's obviously a fantastic fighter, and I'm excited to see what happens going forward. I think he needs to be paired up. How long are we in the video? Okay, now I can quote what he said. All right, so he immediately goes off, right? He goes off. First of all, he runs over right after the fight gets called off, raises Saint-Denis' arms, basically showing him the respect and like getting everybody to cheer for him in his hometown, or like home country too. Fantastic show of respect. It's awesome. I love to see that kind of stuff. Moicano was going off. He said a lot of things. He had lots of respect for France, said it's beautiful, but he was like, when the French Revolution came, tried to take God out of everything, whatever, and he goes off about that one. Then he says, fuck Macron and fuck the globalists. Holy shit. He's gold, man. I love his post-fight speeches. Real quick, the scorecards, all three judges gave that first round a 10-8. Nothing to discuss there. Good. Here we go. Number 11 and 12. Moicano was 11, Saint-Denis was 12. So because of this, Saint-Denis puts himself in a really good position, having four wins in a row. I think you pair him up. He asked for I think he asked for Paddy Pimblett or like an easy. He's like, I'm looking for easy money. He didn't call for a title, but I think you pair him up with anybody in the top 7. Anyone in the top 7, possibly Gamrot or Fiziev, but I say pair him up with someone in the top 7. If he wins that, he gets a title shot. I think he's earned it. 4 fights in a row, good wins, excellent fight by him, excellent performance, and obviously awesome post-fight speech. All right, let's talk about Brendan Allen versus Nassourdine Imavov. Just not a great performance from Allen. I mean, this first round clearly went his direction, and we can talk about that. But as the fight went on, he just continued to make the wrong decision. So Allen going with the low kicks and gets poked in the face, immediately gets poked in the eye, right? Works the body lock and slams him. Allen didn't do much damage, but he was on top for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And, had he done more damage in here, could it have swayed it in the other direction? Could he gotten a 10-8 and then made this a draw? There's a lot of things, a lot of what ifs. He just got safe in that half guard position and, put a lot of shoulder pressure on the neck, but he didn't advance. When he tried to advance, that was side control. And then he tries to advance, gets caught in half guard and got warned constantly for not doing enough. 10-9. Nice hook from Allen. Then Imavov pokes him in the eye again. Just a warning, right? Just a warning. That's twice he got poked in the eye, and he's just like, oh, whatever. So, whatever. He also grabs his gloves later. Different foul, so it doesn't add to your total. It's stupid. Anyway, fouling, it continues to be one of the most effective techniques in MMA. Allen fails on a takedown. Imavov holds on to a half Nelson, does nothing with it, but then Allen fails on another one, accepts bottom position, gets damaged. Allen stands back up and just looks dismissive of Imavov striking and shoots another takedown. Allen stays on his back too long, and Imavov gets the mount. He got outstruck here 23-8, obviously got outdamaged, got out-controlled, and just the game plan wasn't working, and, it's tied 19-19, so you figure in the third round, immediately Allen shoots another single. That single was not working. That single, Imavov was able to defend it very well. He wasn't chain wrestling past that. He was just holding on to that single and dropping down. Wasn't even driving through it. Allen really looks tired. Imavov grabbing inside the gloves. Yep. Allen was the one pressuring forward. He was the one who was initiating action, but every single time he got into those positions, he would either make the wrong decision or Imavov would beat him to the next position. And he got outstruck here, 33-18. And yes, they were both tired, but Allen got the worst of it, and that's it. I had him losing. I had Imavov winning 29-28. That's how all three judges had it. Imavov's good, but he has holes in his game, and just if you're not gonna force him outside of his game, or you try to force him outside of his game, and then you end up in those positions, like you just can't keep repeating that stuff. I think it was just bad gamesmanship by Allen. And Imavov did what he needed to do. All right, Joanderson Brito taking on William Gomis. A little bit of French favoritism here. They're both swinging, and it's frenetic early. Gomis gets into the clinch. Brito gets the gooch grab takedown, reaching underneath and over the top, and then pulls him. I don't know what that grab or takedown is called, but I call it the gooch grab. Finally up with 2 minutes and 5 seconds. There's no real damage that took place. A lot of clinch work. They go back and forth. They separate with 25 seconds left. Brito in his face, throwing hard, dives guillotine at the end of the round, or guillotine, sorry. And then Man, I bet Gomis gets this round, but honestly, the damage should go to Brito. If you look at the striking numbers here, it's 9-9. Look at the control time. Yes, Gomis had more control time, but Brito was in the more advantageous positions, and he landed the bigger shots. So the damage should go to Brito, but this round is relatively close. So in that case, we kind of all know how that's going to go in someone's hometown. Brito in his face, and they throw again, but then Brito dives into the clinch. Brito body locks and muscles him to the ground, lays out some damage, and then goes arm triangle. They get back up with 2 minutes left. Brito advancing and controlling pretty much this entire round. He did get outstruck here 11-8, but I think Brito did far and away enough here, right? Obviously, the damage was relatively close, and then the control time, 3 minutes and 34 seconds. So I had him up 20-18. Could be 19-19. Third round, Gomis is doing a good job with his left kick to the body and up top sometimes. Even if they're blocked, he's landing. He's throwing them out there, and they're really nice. Gomis is finding the mark as Brito enters and landing that hard left hand. Brito continues to walk him down. Gomis really wants to clinch and then run. He's trying to stay safe. Gomis probably did more in this last round. He did outland him 23-12. And the big shots didn't land for Brito like they did earlier. So I had it 29-28 for Brito, but like I said, when you're fighting in someone else's hometown, they're probably going to get it. So Ben Cartledge gave the first and last round to Gomis. Wait. Yes. Okay. That's fine. Anders Olsen gave the first 2 rounds to Brito. That's how I scored it. That's fine. And then Clemens Warner gives the first and last round. So when the round, like the first round happens and it's so close, it can obviously be swayed by the fans. When they make more noise because of something that happens, they can easily sway the judge's favoritism or judge's decision with the crowd favoritism. All right, moving on here. Bryan Battle versus Kevin Jousset. Kevin Jousset, when he came out, boy, they were excited, and then the fight took place, and anytime he did anything, they were super excited, but boy, were they fucking pissed when Battle put it on him. Battle saying his face, using the jab to get to the clinch. Battle really wants this clinch and takedown. Jousset stable and strong, even with double overhooks, right? He's double overhooks, and Battle's got double unders. He couldn't get the takedowns. Looks like Battle wanted to tire him out in the clinch. That looked like it could have been part of his game plan. It was a close round. The difference could be who was more offensive, and that was Battle, right? The individual best strikes probably were from Jousset. He landed a couple really good ones, but I just don't think it was enough to separate the damage between the two. So they're in, but remember, they are in France. So, and the striking numbers were pretty close, 29-26 in favor of Jousset, but that control time, the pressure, and all of the offense. Do you think that more damage was done so much so that you couldn't say it was even? I don't. I think it was relatively close. If you gave this round to Jousset, fine. I'm not going to fight you on it. Jousset landing that hard right hand to start the second round, but he still has to back up because the offense and the pressure from Battle just will not stop. Jousset mounts some sustained offense, but again, Battle refuses to back up, stays in his face, throws back, and more clinch work. Jousset starts to slow down, and then Battle starts putting on him. Jousset starts wilting from the pressure. He just can't do anything. Battle gets the finish, and it was a great fight. Battle going after the French fans afterwards. 71-29 for striking number in this round. Let's see how they scored that first round. Ben Cartledge and Saul D'Amato had that first round for Battle, and David Letheby, swayed by the fans, gave it to Jousset. I mean, it was great performance by Battle. He really has gotten a lot better since he started in the UFC. He's gotten leaner. He's much more precise with his shots. His output is still the same. He gets hit less, but he still gets hit. So there's, that's a recipe for a fun fighter. I'll tell you that. Okay, guy with the wine name. Morgan Charriere versus Gabriel Miranda. Charriere defends the takedown, stops the guard pull to remain in the clinch, and Miranda walking him down just to engage, and then even invites the takedown to work off his back. He really wants it on the ground, however, it gets there. Charriere able with the clean jab and the low kicks in the right hand as Miranda wades in again and again. He doesn't care. He just wants to get close so he can get it to the ground. And Miranda inviting the takedown to work off his back, right? Miranda sweeps, works his way to the back, but he couldn't do anything with it in that first round. Pretty close round when it comes to how you grade strikes and control. I lean Charriere because of the damage that he did. So if you look at the striking numbers here, 16-10. Miranda landed a couple good strikes of his own, but I think Charriere did more damage, even though he was... Yeah, and like on top, was he really doing damage on the ground? No, but Miranda wasn't doing anything from the bottom, and he didn't throw up any significant submission attempts, so I gave this one to Charriere. Second round here, big hook from and Miranda drops, and it's all over, right? It's immediate afterwards. All three judges gave it to Charriere. There was no way they were giving it to Miranda in that first round. I mean, I scored it for Charriere too, so it's not like it's just there's no way. If it had gone the other direction, I think there could have been some discussion there, but I don't think so. Anyway, Matt Frevola taking on Ziam. This fight was fantastic, fun, lots of action for the most part, and then the boring stuff, was broken up by just Frevola's pace and stupid winging shots, but they're fun to watch. Ziam with the front kick to the face immediately, and in this fight, he really needed to use his range to keep Frevola away from him, because Frevola is either in on the clinch or throwing giant right hands, like from way outside. Frevola gets a takedown on top and ends up getting the front headlock, pulls guillotine, and gets to mount, but loses the mount. Ziam gets out of it and able to get back up. Frevola, if he had held that, it'd be a different story, but that's not what happened. And he rocks Frevola with a right hand and then a beautiful 1-2 behind it. Ziam hesitant to enter and overthrows, gets caught in the clinch. Obviously, he did way more here. Outstruck him 18-9, rocked him in this round. Obviously, his round 10-9. Ziam staying clean and poking as he moves backwards. Frevola keeps throwing those giant overhand rights. It's just not there. Exiting the clinch, Frevola finally able to land the right, but it's just not enough to turn him away. Got outstruck here. Like Ziam's just outpointing him essentially, 34-7. Beautiful round from Ziam, 20-18 going to the third. Ziam running him down, going with some high kicks and getting the back from the clinch again. Inside the clinch, Ziam waits for Frevola to turn around and lands a high knee to put him out. Still within clinch range. Absolutely beautiful high knee. Fantastic finish and great way to end that one. If you guys didn't watch that fight, I do recommend it. That was fantastic. That was the last fight on the first fight on the main card. The last one I'm going to cover here. If you're looking for the next one, the prelims, that's in the next video. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like I said at the top of this, if you did not watch this card, go back and watch it. You still have time today to go watch it. Watch it at your normal time that you would watch UFC fights on a Saturday night. It was relatively early. I love when they do these fights early. Makes it a lot easier to actually watch them relatively close to live and break them down and get the videos out early. So appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know when the next video is coming out. And like the video if you like this. I'd appreciate that too. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. Peace. Love y'all.